All right, let's talk about success. But forget all the complicated life hacks and secret formulas for a minute. Today, we're digging into a really simple, kind of tough love approach. It's all about confronting the one person who's really holding you back. You.
It all starts with a choice most of us make before we're even really awake. That alarm goes off, and you've got a decision to make. It seems so tiny, right? But what if hitting that snooze button isn't just about 5 more minutes of sleep? What if that single choice actually sets the stage for your entire day and maybe even your entire future? And that's where we're going to start, the morning battle. Yeah, forget about your grand 5-year plans for a second. The real fight for what you want doesn't happen in some boardroom years from now. It happens in these small moments every single day. This is the real battleground.
Now, here's a really important idea. Hitting snooze, putting off a task, it doesn't mean you're lazy. It's not some kind of moral failing. I want you to think of it more like a technical problem. It's just a default setting in your programming. And the best part about settings? They can be changed.
So let's put a name on this invisible enemy. We're talking about your default setting. This is your brain's automatic, pre-programmed response. The one that kicks in the second you're faced with something that's difficult or uncomfortable. To put it simply, default actions are just the easy way out. They're the paths of least resistance that your brain automatically wants to take. And yeah, they feel good for a moment, but they are a complete dead end when it comes to making real progress. I mean, think about it. Going back to sleep instead of just getting out of bed. Complaining about how hard something is instead of just starting it. Always picking the most comfortable option. Actively running away from the hard work. The grind. Do any of these ring a bell?
So let's just be blunt here. People don't fail because of bad luck or because they didn't get the right opportunities. According to this idea, people fail because when things get tough, they consistently fall back on these default actions. It becomes this endless loop of self-sabotage.
Okay, enough about the problem, right? Let's talk about the solution. And honestly, it's refreshingly simple. This isn't some 12-step program. It's just one single, conscious decision you have to make. It's a vow.
You really don't need a new app, or some crazy complicated spreadsheet, or a whole library of self-help books. We tend to overcomplicate what it takes to succeed. The actual secret to breaking out of that default programming is way more direct.
This is it. This is the whole thing. It's that simple, powerful declaration. This is the new line of code you write to override your brain's default setting. So when you feel that pull to give up, to complain, to go back to bed, this is your answer. And just so we're clear, saying I'm not going to quit is really just another way of saying I'm willing to do the hard work. It's a promise to yourself to embrace the grind, not run from it. It's deciding to lean into that discomfort because that's where all the growth actually happens.
Okay, so this leads us to the core promise of this whole philosophy. You're basically looking at 2 paths, and each one leads to a very certain destination. There is no middle ground here.
Just look at the comparison. It's pretty stark. On the left, you've got the path of default. You go back to your old habits, you avoid the grind, and the outcome is guaranteed failure. Not maybe, guaranteed. Then on the right, you have the path of persistence. You defy that default, you embrace the grind, and the outcome? Guaranteed success. It's a pretty simple equation.
And notice the language there. Success isn't framed as just a possibility or something that might happen. It's positioned as an absolute certainty. If you make that vow and refuse to quit. The only real variable in this whole thing is you.
And that brings us right to the end. The theory's been laid out, the 2 paths are clear. So now the spotlight shifts entirely onto you. It's about the decision that you have to make, not just once, but every single day.
Just think about what that really means. All the external stuff, the difficulty, the setbacks, none of it can actually make you fail. According to this philosophy, there's only one way to lose, and it's an internal one. It's the act of quitting.
And that's the question we're left with. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm starts screaming, or maybe later today, when you're staring down a task you really want to avoid, are you going to revert to your default, or are you going to defy it? The choice, and the outcome that comes with it, is completely up to you.
Welcome to Motivational InspiReels. Subscribe and hit the bell icon.